What's the minimal amount that you could buy a property for, and how much cash would that cost?
Yeah, good question. So you can go all around Australia, and you can go probably buy something for maybe $50,000.
Okay.
But the question then begs is, where is that property? And
Yeah.
the answer is nowhere you should be buying. So don't do that. In my experience, I bought properties from like 250,000 would be the lowest price probably I've ever bought. Now, there's people out there that advocate for those really low $200,000 houses that it's basically you're buying the property is basically you're buying the improvements. The cost of improvements to replace is higher than the purchase price.
Oh wow!
And I get that methodology. However, the risk component to that for me is a little bit too high. In that, what are those areas you're buying in? What are the quality of tenants that you're actually attracting in those $200,000 houses? So my preference is generally to be a $300,000 plus purchase price budget.
Okay.
And
so that's for a buy and hold, right? Because that other strategy, if you buy something for like 200K, you can look at improving it with a flip. I think I'm not into flipping, and I know that you're most likely not into flipping as well. We don't like extra work. So are you saying a 300K property is a buy and hold strategy? And what would a 300K property look like? Is it like a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom unit, or is it a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home?
3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home.
Okay.
And it's
with a block.
Yeah, a block of land, so like 600 square meters. Okay. So they're out there. It's just you got to sort of, for me, say on a $200,000 property, you're looking at a 10% deposit. That's $20,000 plus your stamp duty. It might be like $7,000. So there's
27.
Yep. Plus your stamp duty. That's your legals on that one, and then other sort of bank costs. You're kind of looking at around $30,000.
Okay.
And that's not taking into account any advice fees that come into play.
So 27K deposit or 20.
For a $200,000 house, you're probably looking at 30 to 35 grand. And why I say 35 is that
that's for a $200,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say, what would a $300,000 property cost?
Well, you just add on the extra. So the 10% deposit is 30 grand, so it's going to bump itself up. Generally, people say $60,000 is that magic number. And in the buyer's agent space, that is because there's a professional fee involved of around $10,000 as a buyer's agent fee.
Mm-hmm.
So that actually is a fee that obviously is like you're reducing your risk, right? So I get how that works. It's not only just the location research that you're looking for, it's the analysis and negotiation as well.
Okay, cool. And guys, we are not buyer's agents,
Mm.
but we believe buyer's agents are awesome. We've both used buyer's agents.
Yeah.
And
they're not for everyone though.
They're not for everyone.
Yeah.
But just like we don't have anything to sell you. Just so you know, we're just here to give value and information. And so $30,000 deposit, and then you got another $30,000 in what fees? So that's stamp duty, legals, a bit of a cash buffer, and your 10-ish K for a buyer's agent. Okay.
So for me,
some people could do it for themselves for 50 grand, but
Yeah.
we would not personally, not even being buyer's agents, we would not advise that, right?
Well, you always want to get take the buyer's agent fee out of it. If you found a property for $300,000, I'd really want to be looking at where you're buying that, because there's no point in buying a property if it's just going to sit there and go nowhere in value, or it might trickle up a few $1,000s a year. Because it's the opportunity cost you're losing out on. You're better to wait 12 months, save up a great deposit, and go buy a better quality property in a better growth location.
Got ya.
So yeah, there's a few different sort of metrics around it. The most important part for people is to learn how to start saving for that deposit, because that's going to give you options. I just wouldn't play around in that sub 300 range for those obvious reasons that I've mentioned before. Realistically, I would be more of an advocate for 400 plus. But then there are people that they've worked to that point and they really want to get in, and there is a good case to say like those $300,000 to $400,000 properties, because they are cheap essentially. If you're buying in those locations that are well built out and tick all those investor boxes that we'll work through in this podcast, you're going to get that good growth content, because not like the majority of people can afford a $300,000 house. but not everyone can afford $1 million house.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're
so there's more people in that market of buying that 300k to 5, 6, 700k.
It's also the downside risk as well. So people that are in that, they're less affected by, I guess, economic conditions because they're just employees and they're probably in a location. Generally, they're regional, so they're quite like say it's like a farming and a agricultural location. People always need food, so their job security is a little bit greater. When you get to those locations like the mining towns where the job security in down markets is just eradicated, then people flock back to the cities where the employment hubs are and they leave their houses, and that's what jobs value is because supply goes up and demand goes down.